Welcome back to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Just kidding. We're in your local movie theater parking lot. I'm Mara.
And I'm Gio.
And we are fresh out the film.
Indeed.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it was a good film today, I will say.
It was.
Not to reveal our rating or anything like that, but it was an enjoyable watch. We went again with our friends of the podcast from last episode, Elliot and Ellie.
Yep.
And it was lovely. You know, had a nice time before. Took a lap around the movie theater before to stretch our legs out. And then just got right into it, pretty much. You know, we're going on Tuesdays now, so we have this great meal deal going.
Yeah, so it's only like $7 for a movie ticket on Tuesdays, and then $6 for a medium drink and a small popcorn on Tuesdays. So it's a banger deal.
Yeah, I mean, I know not many people listen to this, but if you're out there and you have a better movie deal than that, let us know, because I think this is like maybe the best out there. Like, it's insanely cheap to go get to see a movie and have a drink and popcorn for, you know, $13-14 or however much.
Yeah, absolutely, because that's usually just the price of the movie ticket.
Yep. Yeah.
So very glad that we've started going on Tuesdays for that deal.
Agreed.
Saving lots of money. I was talking to the parents last night about that, how that now that you need to save money, we're going on Tuesdays. But back when I had a job and wanted to save money, we were going on like Saturday nights and Friday nights. And I was spending like $20 just on movie tickets.
Yikes. Yeah, don't think about how much you could have saved. I think I was a little less comfortable to go on a weeknight because I have work in the morning when we're doing this always.
Yeah. But now that I have work on weekends, it's really, we have no choice.
Yes. I'm going to quickly roll the windows down ever so slightly.
Oh, yeah, so it doesn't get all hot and gross in here.
There we are.
Yeah, but overall, we had Theater 13
once
again.
Cursed number 13.
But now we've been to it twice, and it's been fine.
It has. They fixed it.
So maybe it's no longer cursed.
Yeah, and honestly, not the last time we went to Theater 13, but the time before that, it was Wicked Part 1.
Yeah.
And this time in Theater 13, we saw the preview for Wicked Part 2.
Wicked for Good.
Wicked for Good.
It looks so good. I was literally sitting there just like, I've seen that trailer many times before.
Have? This is my first.
But still sitting there on the big screen gagged. Like, it looks so good, and all of like the little like bits of them singing the songs, it sounds so good, and I'm so fucking excited.
The music sounds great. I immediately, because I have not seen the second half of the show ever. I've heard some of the music, so I don't know what happens in Wicked for Good. And I immediately, as it was starting, leaned over to you and was like, are there going to be spoilers in this preview? And you were like, no.
I'm like, no, you're
Little
fine.
did I know you were lying to me.
There are no actual spoilers that are really going to ruin your experience.
Well, I'm that far out that I didn't know that Dorothy and company she's in it. I
have told you that.
Oh, you did tell me that?
Yeah. Because remember, it goes before and then overlaps with Dorothy's story.
Oh,
I think I probably said that on the Wicked episode.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so it's not that bad then. Hopefully I forget again. I pray I do.
Maybe.
Because that would be a cool reveal. Because
Dorothy is not a big part of it whatsoever, by the way. No.
First
movie, stage show, it's like barely anything.
The first movie, she's in it. You can see him on the Yellow Brick Road.
Yes.
But it's almost like it was just a little wink. And so it felt to me like, oh, that's going to be their little, you know, like, oh, there's a connection to the Wizard of Oz. But no, they're going to go further into it because of the overlap. That's awesome.
It's still, in the original stage show, there is not much Dorothy. It's just like, she is there and there's a presence and like a little scene with her there, kind of.
Does she sing?
Explaining shit. No.
Dang.
But we'll see. They could do something different with this new movie.
There's no
Who knows?
Song where she like sings somewhere over the rainbow and like a.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
So sad.
Doesn't happen. But I'm so excited for that. That's in November. It'll be a great watch.
Is Judy Garland reprising her role as Dorothy?
Yeah, definitely. For sure.
Is she alive?
Nope.
Aw, rest in peace, Judy Garland.
Rest in peace.
When did she pass?
A long time ago. I'm pretty sure she was pretty young.
Ah, that's too bad.
Yeah, because all of like the drugs and stuff.
Yeah, looking into her history.
Were being forced.
Yeah.
At her, really rough. Real rough.
Young stars in Hollywood, they got a lot of similar sad stories.
Especially in old Hollywood.
Yep. Yeah. Especially women.
Yes.
Well.
All right, now we've covered Wicked for good.
Yeah.
You had something you wanted to
Oh yes. Sorry. The controversy section, of course. It's been a week since our last controversy. This is becoming a new segment. So the controversy this time was Simone Ashley. Do you know that name?
I don't think so.
So she is best known for Bridgerton and Sex Education. I didn't find what role she was in, but she's in Bridgerton.
Oh, yes, I know exactly who she is. I've seen both of those shows, and I know who she is.
So she was marketed with the movie. She did the whole promotional tour and interviews. She was in previews, and like she was doing interviews for the film a week before its theatrical release, only to find out at the last minute that all of her scenes had been deleted from the final cut. She appeared briefly on screen. I didn't even see her in the background somewhere, but had no lines of dialogue. And it's very unusual for an actor doing this much promo in which their scenes have been cut off.
That's so fucked up.
It's sad. So the director, Joseph Kosinski, was asked about it, and he said, kind of nonchalantly, it happens on every film where you have to shoot more than you can use. There were 2 or 3 storylines that ultimately didn't make it into the final cut, which I am going to bring up later because I think I know what they are. But Simone, she's an incredible talent, incredible actress, incredible singer, and I would love to work with her again. Ashley hasn't commented on the situation directly, except on an Instagram post from the European premiere. Last night was the F1 premiere in my hometown. It was a joy to reunite with the cast and crew to celebrate. I couldn't have been prouder watching everyone shine on screen. So she's taking it nicely, at least not making a big deal about it, but people have definitely raised their concerns at Joseph Kosinski because it's really weird how far they went the marketing on her part. You know, it's almost like her family and friends. It's very different if she was able to just like, you know, tell a small group about how she was a part of this movie and then kind of tell them a little bit later how she was cut out and then nobody would really know she was in it. But she got announced as a big role and marketed so much that so many people thought she was going to be in it. And I'm sure she's gotten talked to about it. So it's just too bad.
Ugh, that's so sad. And she's a really good actress. So I would have liked to see her in this.
I wonder what her role would have been.
Yeah.
Maybe like possibly a more involved board member, or I got to look at what her role was if it was changed. I should have done a little more research, but I feel like Javier Bardem had some more character that could have been explored. Ruben had some more character that could have been explored. So maybe if she was like another front office person to kind of share scenes with Ruben, but I don't know. She definitely wasn't going to be a love interest because I think we knew who the 2 love interests were for our main guys.
Right, yeah.
One of which was not very fleshed out, but yeah.
Right.
That's our controversy for the day.
Wow, that is really crazy. And that makes me sad. I wish I could have seen her in that because I really liked her in Bridgerton. She was amazing in that, as well as in Sex Education, although she had a kind of smaller role in that. But that's a shame. But anyway, if you haven't seen the title of this video or guessed already, the movie we saw today was F1, the movie. Mm-hmm. It was directed by Joseph Kosinski, starring Brad Pitt, Damson Idris, and Javier Bardem. So, pretty crazy.
It's a good cast right there, man.
It was a $200 million budget. Do you know how much it made opening weekend?
I don't.
Wanna give it a guess?
Take a stab. Yes. What do you say the budget was? Sorry.
200 million.
200 million opening weekend. I'm gonna go 60 million.
Oh, very close.
Yeah?
57 million.
Yeah, that was
over
about as close as I could get right there. There we are.
Now, as of today, which is Tuesday, July 1st, it has made about 145 million.
Dang, nice. On track then.
Yeah, so it's doing well so far. On Letterboxd, it has a 3.8 out of 5, IMDb a 7.9 out of 10, and an 83% on Rotten Tomatoes.
All pretty consistent there.
Yeah.
IMDb, I guess, is a little higher, so audiences are liking a little more than the critics. Your everyday Joe's liking a little more.
Yeah, and the audience score on Rotten Tomato was around, I think it was 97%.
Wow, yeah.
So
no
audiences are liking it way more.
I totally get that, man. These are like car movies and just kind of sport movies in general. They're just so like rah and make you feel so much emotion.
Absolutely.
You know, I understand why a lot of the people
it pumps you up for
critiquing.
sure.
Yes. People who aren't critiquing, they're gonna enjoy this.
Yeah.
No doubt.
You ready to jump into the story?
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Let's do it. So the story I found today wasn't from our normal moviespoilers.com. I love you guys. I hope everything's going well. You didn't get this review out, unfortunately, or the synopsis. So I went with the Wikipedia synopsis. So we might have to fill in some blanks here.
Right.
But the movie begins with Formula One driver named Sonny Hayes refusing to retire after suffering severe injuries from an accident in the Spanish Grand Prix. So we basically see in this opening scene, it's just Sonny in his little car, his van. He's meditating, and they're just crossing between what's playing in his ears, which is just wave sounds, and it's just this footage of waves that's being cross-cut with footage of him on the F1 track, leading up to, we actually get to see parts of his incident from the Spanish Grand Prix. It was not good.
No.
to say the least. Sonny now goes from contest to contest, racing currently in the 24 Hours of Daytona, which he ultimately goes on to win.
Yeah, and this scene has a whole lot of love playing.
Oh yeah.
During it, at the very start when it which was just, I thought it was a setup for a banger soundtrack for this movie. Unfortunately, it did not go the rock route that I hoped it would. So
we got some Queen in there at a certain point.
We got some Queen, got Led Zeppelin right up front.
That's good.
But I was really fucking with that. So I was like, hell yeah, let's get it. I think I looked over. I think you were like nodding your head 100%. Along too. We were both fucking with that for sure.
The whole energy from the first race was just really. It's just big, man, and seeing how like the cinematography, how many different camera angles, just the how modern this tech is with the cars. We're getting our first introduction to the world of racing in the mid 2000s, and it's not mid 2000s. We're still early 2000s, but I mean, when you're saying that, wouldn't mid 2000s be like 2500?
Yeah.
So we're like in the early 2000s. But it's very different than a lot of the racing movies that I've watched. I think I'll probably just preface it now and say I'm working on a car video right now that should come out tonight. And I watched 7 different car movies leading up to this, including Ford vs. Ferrari, Rush, Turbo, Talladega Nights, Days of Thunder, a whole bunch. Cars, of course. So there's just getting to see like what modern racing is, but especially because it was NASCAR, I believe, before we got to go watch F1. It was really, really cool, just kind of getting to compare and contrast everything. I was kind of doing that the entire movie,
Yeah.
I have all these other movies so fresh, so there's no way to avoid that.
Yeah, and for me, the only 2 racing movies I've ever seen are Cars. Well, all the Cars movies.
Cars 2, Cars 3, Cars 4.
And Turbo. So I've not really seen any racing movies, I don't think, other than animated ones.
Yeah.
So, a little bit of a difference in maybe how we view it. We'll see.
Do you think you would watch more racing movies after this movie?
Oh, absolutely. I really like this movie.
I have some recommendations for you, so that... Oh, no.
You just got that on my knee. What the fuck?
Sorry, do we have napkins?
It's fine. I've been using my jacket as a napkin.
Sorry, guys. This is what happens.
You just spilled... What was that, Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Spilled Pepsi on my knee.
God damn it.
But that's okay.
Okay, it's fine.
It's fine.
All right. Continuing on. So, yeah. So he wins... the Daytona, just kind of driving for a random team, and the actor for like the crew chief of the Daytona race was somebody that I recognized. I don't know his name. I probably should have looked it up, but he plays Elias on Boardwalk Empire, which is Nucky Thompson's brother. I don't think you've seen it, but it's an awesome show, and to see Elias in this movie, I was so excited. And after Daytona, he's never in it again, which is just too bad.
Damn.
But as Sonny Hayes is leaving the Daytona, he gets kind of offered to keep driving for that team, and he just doesn't want to. He's kind of just like a nomad. He's just living out of this van and driving around racing wherever he can. So we kind of get him next. He's at the laundromat, I do believe, and he's just kind of like looking, for his next race. Where's he gonna go? Doing his laundry, just living on the road. And his former teammate walks up on him, Ruben Cervantes. He's now the owner of Apex GP. It's APX GP, but I think they just call it Apex. This is a team in Formula One, and Ruben offers Sonny a spot, essentially. Apex's second driver's out for the season, and Apex is a team Apex is a team who's always at the back, so they need to take a risk here to kind of save the company. So Hayes is a bit skeptical because this is a tough team to drive for, if he wants to go out and win. But Ruben then goes on to explain that he can fire Hayes if they don't win the race that season with only 9 races remaining. And yeah, I mean, essentially, this is just setting up the stakes where they have 9 races. They're going to get Sonny in to win one of these 9 races to keep the team alive. Because if you don't get one win within the first 3 years, the board can fire the CEO, I guess, of this.
Yeah, and I think these first scenes with Hayes and Ruben in them, I think are the first that we see this really, really amazing, quick back and forth dialogue. Like, we first see it, I think, in the scene where Hayes is, like, taking a shower and Ruben's outside talking it, and it's just this great, just, like, quick, just very, like, witty back and forth, and it's consistent. Like, that happens throughout the entirety of the movie, but this is where we first see it. I'll definitely talk about that a lot because that's something I really enjoyed about this movie.
100%. They had great chemistry. You could tell that, their characters had history. Yeah. It was so easy to see, like, their first meeting, kind of joking with each other, like, acting like they didn't know each other were.
Yeah.
And just the conversation over the pinball machine. And, yeah, their chemistry was top. Yeah,
amazing.
It's a good shout.
Yeah.
Very good shout. So, yeah, Hayes is in. Ruben's rolling the dice. And Hayes goes to test drive, where he meets the team principal, Casper, a technical director, Kate McKenna, who's going to be important, and then his new teammate, who's also going to be important, an up-and-coming hot new rookie driver named Joshua Pierce. Pierce is cocky, but he's also concerned about his future as an F1 driver. He walks the line of being cocky and competitive really well, I think. I don't know if they wanted, maybe, honestly, I thought they were trying to get a more cocky version of him, especially at the beginning, but I think he really walks the line well because at times they want you cheering for Sonny and at times they want you cheering for Joshua, especially now because they're about to feud a little bit. So they both kind of flip back and forth, where right now I think we're more aligned with Sonny because we started with him, so Joshua looks like kind of an asshole. But in a second, Sonny's going to do some things that's going to make Joshua look a lot better.
I do think it was interesting, for me at least, right off the bat, Joshua was like he was a very likable character, to be honest. Just, like, even though he was an asshole, like, he's immediately we looked at each other during this scene. He's, like, getting up, he walks backwards, runs into someone, and then is like, what the fuck?
And she apologizes to him.
And he's just like, ugh. And it's like, you just, like, walked into her. What the fuck are you doing? What?
Yeah.
So, like, it's clear that they're trying to make him, like, cocky and unlikable and just, like, an asshole. But for some reason, that did not translate to me at all.
Right.
Like, immediately I was like, oh, this is a very likable character. Like, I like this dude.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't like him, at least not as much as I like Brad Pitt up front. I think, for me, I got a lot more of what you're talking about from Brad Pitt's character, actually. Where he was designed to be an asshole, but so much that he would do, I just kind of liked him for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I guess I do end up liking Joshua for the same types of reasons, so I think they just do a really good job of creating asshole racers.
Yeah.
Who...
that are still likable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's props to the casting team right there, props
Absolutely.
to the script, and yeah, they knock it out of the park.
Absolutely.
But yeah, at this test drive, Hayes meets with the team. He meets everybody. He meets Kate McKenna, very important, and Josh. Joshua believes that he needs to destroy his teammate to maintain a scene at Apex, and this is kind of reinforced by Joshua's agent, who's just kind of an annoying bird on Josh's shoulder the entire movie. Yeah, but he's basically saying if his career could be done if an old guy comes in and overtakes you as the number 1 driver,
Yeah.
That's the fear. But Hayes jumps into a modern F1 car, his first time driving F1 in 30 years or whatever, and he crashes it. But Smolinski notices his talent and offers him a full-time drive.
Yeah.
Who is Smolinski?
That's the
old tech
guy?
guy?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
He's the old guy in the pit crew. That makes sense.
He's the guy that, like, is in charge of everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of confused how the power structure works. I'm glad they didn't go into it.
I don't know.
But
I have no idea.
Because I couldn't tell who
makes
trumps
the final decisions? Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Basically, then we just go to the first race, and APX initially gets a good start, but a bad pit stop time dropped him and Pierce to the rear of the field. And Pierce and Hayes have already had a couple conversations. They're not getting along too well already. And Hayes is given instruction to let Pierce through with this race, but he refuses, and this causes both of them to crash into each other. And basically, there's a conversation afterwards where Hayes, they get back into the garage, and Pierce is basically just like blaming Hayes for everything, and they do it right in front of everybody, and Hayes just kind of keeps holding his ground until Smolinski comes up and tells Hayes that he was wrong, and then Hayes kind of just backs down. But it was...
Well, not really.
Well, kind of.
Because Smolinski's like, when we give you an order, you have to do it. Like, that's what's happening. And he was like...
Cool.
He was like, cool, but don't ask me to give up my spot. Like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
You can tell me to do whatever, I'm not gonna do that.
That makes more sense. I think I misheard that a little bit. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, it was just a cool conversation. We were all waiting for that confrontation afterwards, and it just was like really, really well done. And the blood's boiling between these two right now.
Yeah,
you can see it. So basically, after this whole debacle and Hayes's racing ability and everything going down, Hayes vows to game F1's rules and regulations. To be able to mend his bond with his teammate, number one, and just to be able to win. So in the next race, Hayes helps Pierce catch up to the other cars by purposely causing accidents, leading to safety car periods, 4 safety car periods. So Pierce, it was insane. He's in the very back, just messing with people, getting debris on the track just to slow everybody down up front, so Pierce can have a chance.
And I do think they did that scene really well, because as someone who has no idea about racing whatsoever, they were very easily able to quickly explain what's going on, and we could move on. And I'm like, okay, I know exactly what's happening, and now when he's fucking things up and getting stuff on the track, I know exactly what he's doing.
It's like a staple of car movie to have a constant exposition going as the race is happening, but it doesn't overwhelm, because it's basically just something will happen on the track, and you see it happen. Hayes will crash, and then it'll cut to the pit crew, and the pit crew goes, he's going to bring the safety car out again. And then we see the safety car or whatever it is. We saw this a lot more with the tires, too, which I don't think we'll get much into. But in further races, they talk so much about, you need to switch to your soft tires right now. Without your soft tires, you're not going to be able to finish the race. No, I'll keep the hard tires, And, it's just this constant... This movie does a really good job, because a lot of the car movies that I've watched recently, sometimes they'll just have the announcer kind of saying everything, or sometimes they'll just have the pit crew. This one has a combination of both. So you have the announcer saying when the big passes happen, and then when there is needed exposition, it cuts to the pit crew.
And even when that was happening, I never felt like I'm oh, they're saying all this shit just to force information at me. I never felt like that at any point, during any of the races. That's while they're explaining things.
Neither did I.
Which I'm really glad.
Neither did I. I'm not sure, because I'm so deep into car movies now. I might, but the fact that you didn't says a lot.
Yeah.
That's absolutely, it's masterful, to be completely honest. How can you do that and not make it feel overwhelming? It has to be so specific.
I always think of the Interstellar one. That is the perfect, there are ways to do it so perfectly, but I have no idea how they do it. I would never be able to pinpoint, this is exactly how you give information without, being too, preachy and the audience, catches on.
Do you want to go into what moment you're talking about in Interstellar for everybody?
Oh, yeah, I can.
If you want to, yeah.
Or do you want to explain? You know Interstellar better than me.
You take a stab, because I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
So it's in the start when, what the fuck is his name? Matthew McConaughey's character?
Cooper.
When Cooper is in the, I believe he's in the school, and it's dropping the thing about how his wife is dead.
Yeah.
And he says it in just such a way that he's actually saying this to this lady. They're not just putting that line in there so it can explain why there's no mom at home. He just slides it in there so perfectly, and it's yep, that conversation was supposed to happen. That makes complete sense that happened, and it doesn't feel like they were just trying to throw information at us.
100%. I think that's a huge thing that I talk about in my car videos, and that's one of the most important things of these movies, is because there's 2 things that can happen with the spoon feeding. Either it feels... just stupid, where it's why are you telling me this? I know this is it's purely to set up a future thing.
Yeah.
Or it's too overwhelming, where you're taking too much in, you're whoa, okay, fucking slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
But with Interstellar exposition and the exposition that they do in this, it's the key is you have to make the exposition a an answer to something exactly, or like a need for the conversation. So rather than just like walking up and me telling you, hey, a car works like this, you come up and ask me, hey, I'm having this problem with my car, and I explain.
Yeah.
You know, so that's
Yeah.
the big difference that I noticed.
But I do think sometimes people do it that way and it still doesn't work. And it's like, this isn't a natural conversation that would be happening. Like, that can still happen. It can still feel like
what do you
not
think
natural.
the key is to making it natural?
That's the thing. I have no idea. As much as I see it, as many movies as I see, and I see an exact scene that's doing that exact thing, and I can't pinpoint the exact thing that they're doing that makes it work.
That's
I've
what
never
I think.
been
My
able
analogy
to.
is bad. That's what I think it is personally. I think it's using the explanation. It's using the exposition as an explanation to a preface thing. You know, it's not just exposition. It's need for explanation. Explanation is the exposition.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
And that explanation it can be a whole bunch of different needs. In Interstellar, it's we need to know more about Cooper's character, you know, and it works in this moment because they're pushing really hard to Cooper. So to gain sympathy, it would make sense to play this. You know?
Absolutely. But I do think there's another piece there that makes that work because there are times that has happened. It's exactly that way, but it still feels like you're being like spoon-fed information. Yeah, so I feel like there's you're right, but there's like another part of it.
Another aspect. Maybe we'll find it in a future episode.
Maybe.
That's a cool conversation point. But yeah, Pierce is causing incidents, and Hayes is causing incidents. This causes Pierce to score his team's first ever point. So this is, I mean, a big moment for their relationship because basically all Sonny is doing this whole time is just putting his race on the line to give Pierce a chance. You know, that's it. Winning races pretty dirty, just the best way that he can. So the teammates we go into some training sequences and stuff, and they train each other as well. Well, they don't train each other quite, but they train differently with where Pierce learns old driving methods. Well, they do end up training each other, I guess. This seems too early, but they're talking about Pierce learning old driving methods while Hayes learns to train on a simulator. They don't make a big point about that, but they do end up crossing it over into each other's training techniques.
Yes, and they have like scenes of them watching each other train, and then them doing that thing that the other person was doing.
It's well played out. But then there's this conversation between Sonny Hayes and McKenna, who's that crew chief who makes the cars, and Hayes basically sat her down at this bar or this cafe or whatever, and wants her to overhaul the car so it can flow more easily in the corners and APX can become a midfield team. I don't know what that means. This guy, whoever's writing this is a car guy.
Yeah.
Based on that, I don't know what you're talking about. But basically, as a dumb audience member, it was going to make the car more dangerous and faster.
Yeah.
That was the idea. And she initially doesn't do this until, I believe...
Yeah, she tells him finish a race first, and then we'll talk. Because at this point, he has not finished a race.
100%. And yeah, so he does that, I believe, in the next race, unless they miss it. This is the Italian Grand Prix, where a rainstorm hits, causing the team to have their first ever race, potentially causing the team to have their first ever race victory. So Hayes encourages Pierce to stay out of the slick. So this is after they get their good car, right?
Yeah, so I think they might have missed a race. There are a lot of races going on.
That's why this story, I think, is going to be a little bit shorter, is because there is just a constant, every 20 minutes, it's another race. And it's not like montages of races either. They go full into the race. They have different aspects happening every time.
Yeah.
Different people racing at points, which I believe we'll get into.
Yeah.
But in this race, we have the new car, the more dangerous cars, and it's a rainy race. Pierce has a chance to win, and Hayes is giving him some instruction from the back, and he says, Pierce, stay out of the slick tires and take him over on the straightaway. Don't try to take him on this turn, essentially, because there's a chance of the car hydroplaning off the road. So Pierce jumps up to second place, and he attempts to overtake Max Verstappen, but he tries to do it on the turn, and he crashes and gets burnt, and it's this kind of cool moment because Hayes doesn't care about finishing this race. He pulls over immediately and gets out of the car, and there's a moth in here. Oh. So should I roll the window up? Should I put it down more?
I don't know. I've been watching all the bugs out this window. Look at all those.
Oh, God. Should I put it up? Maybe just put the AC for a second?
Yeah.
Pump the AC for a second, then. Hey, dude, this is fresh out the film. This shit happens, you know?
We're just near a local movie theater parking lot. Anything
Exactly.
can happen.
Exactly.
Moths flying into the car. Did it fly out or is it still in here?
It's still in here somewhere.
Oh, you locked it in here?
Yeah, I'll leave my windows cracked overnight or something. I don't know.
Okay. So more can come in?
Yeah. Hopefully not.
Sorry, this is a really sad scene. Let's get back on track.
So yeah, he tries to pass for a trap and Pierce has crashed. Hayes hops out of his car to help out and he literally grabs the fire extinguisher from one of the safety guys and it's like pulls Pierce out of the car, fully saves his life really.
Yeah, like is fully like you're like, oh, he actually cares about like he's like,
yeah.
oh fuck.
And the car's on fire at this point.
Yeah. It like goes flying, spinning through the air, lands and like lights on fire.
Yeah. And this seems like it's gonna be the main point where they no longer have their differences. Once this is happening, even though Pierce is unconscious, you think, at least in my head, this is it. They're on the same team now.
And it's not in this story because I know it's kind of a minor thing and this story's a little rough. But before this race, there is a scene showing Pierce watching. Oh
yes.
What's his name?
Hayes, Sonny Hayes.
Watching Hayes's tape, I guess, where he also like crashed and was seeing that terrible crash. So I think like at that point he was like, oh fuck, like he kind of started to get an understanding, and then after that I think there was the other side of the understanding
100%.
from Hayes.
Or so you would think. We're out to the next race now. I feel like this is skipping over a lot of like the dialogue in this movie, so I just want to highlight kind of where everybody's at right now. With Javier Bardem is kind of just freaking out about his job. He's also kind of talking to a lot of the higher up people. There's this big boardroom character who's a little bit skeevy, and he just he's constant. He's not a big race fan. Constantly talking to Javier about the racing, kind of putting a little bit more pressure on him. And then also McKenna, who is slowly becoming closer and closer to Hayes. The more that they work together. So then there's the penultimate race of the season in Las Vegas, where McKenna decides to sit down with Hayes and Pierce to set up a poker game. So the winner of this poker game is going to get preferential treatment during the race. They're going to be the one, essentially.
It was such a good scene.
It was a great scene. Now before this, to set it up just a little bit more, what did happen is honestly,
a lot is getting skipped through on this.
Huh?
A lot of this is getting skipped through.
A little bit, like, so they don't go into Pierce's recovery very much. They kind of just skip over it in this. What happens during Pierce's recovery is there's one big conversation with Pierce's mom and Hayes, where Pierce's mom is essentially getting mad at Hayes for because she thinks that Hayes is the one who pushed Pierce, and Hayes won't tell her. He's fine with that being blamed on him rather than her blaming, which is a very nice thing to do. And Hayes and Pierce's relationship was good, but since Pierce is in the recovery bed, he's watching Hayes now race really well with the other partner. So he's watching Hayes win, and he's developing hatred again.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's not a good situation. So we go to Las Vegas. The poker game happens. It's an absolutely amazing scene. Just this, not duality, the differences between your old timer, racer and your young buck. It's just like putting that conversation on the forefront. It's amazing. Just seeing, like, there's even a time where Hayes is like, get off your phone. Why you always, that social media is just noise and all these things, and you still get the cockiness from each other, but
and again, the dialogue just between them two, whether they're getting along or fighting, incredible.
This movie was really well written.
Incredible. Oh my, I was like, I love this so much.
And even McKenna's interjections, like, she was kind of playing mediator, but she has, her character's so important because of scenes like that and another conversation that happens with Hayes. It's really good to see.
It's just like you said, just such a well-written movie.
100%. And
I really loved it.
Apple TV, they don't short out their writers, man. They put some effort into it. No doubt. But yeah, this poker game, Pierce wins the poker game, or so we think. Hayes does admit to McKenna when she is basically saying, hey, by the way, I don't date my coworkers. Plus, I don't date losers. He reveals that he actually won and is gonna let. So at this point, Hayes is much more likable for me.
Yes.
Because Hayes has given up on, whatever his motivations were for racing, which we never really know.
Yeah.
And given it to Pierce and just wants to set this guy up, essentially.
Yeah.
So McKenna is very impressed with this, and she takes him up to her room, and the two sleep together. Unfortunately, Javier Bardem shows up at the door.
Oh, this is such a funny...
It was a great scene.
Her line delivery of all of that was just so
Do you wanna do it?
great. It was just basically Javier Bardem, what is his real name?
Sorry, Ruben.
Ruben, he knocks on the door, she opens, and he's like, "Where's Hayes?" And she's like, "I don't know why would Hayes be here? What are you talking about?" And she just keeps going on and keeps going, like, "What do you..." And then finally she's like, "Yeah, he's here."
Yeah, she's like, first off, I would never do that with one of my coworkers. Second off, I would never do that with Sonny Hayes. And third off, he's standing on the balcony.
And she's like, "Yeah, he's on the balcony." Just completely gives. It was so good. It was so funny.
It was absolutely
Her line
amazing.
delivery really just pulled that
She was
together.
great, man. Her accent was great, and she's a really big character, which I didn't expect. I thought it'd just be kind of a throwaway love interest, and she absolutely wasn't. But yeah, basically the next day we find out that a whistleblower says that McKenna had illegally built upgrades to the cars. She denies the allegations, but the car is under review, so they have to revert back to the original non-competitive version before Hayes and Winton made the changes. So he's pissed at this. He's got a race today, and he sees the red mist and drives dangerously, causing him to crash and end up in a hospital in that race. He goes through his big morning routine. He's a very routine-based guy. He has these cards. His character would be fascinating to do a character study on because there's so much about him that's just not explained.
Yes.
Which I love.
Which we'll get into when we talk about the characters.
We'll have to spend a second on him for sure. But yeah, he always puts one card of his into his pocket before he goes out, a playing card. And this time, like right when he's starting the race, he reaches in the pocket. He forgot to put his card in.
Yeah.
And of course, this is where he crashes. So after the dangerous driving crashes, Javier Bardem walks in to talk to Hayes, and he says, "What's the most you've ever lost on a coin toss?" I'm joking. I don't think you've seen No Country for Old Men, but he walks in, and he's basically like pointing out that Hayes had injuries from the 1990 Spanish Grand Prix that permanently impaired his ability to drive, and he should not be driving. So the Apex board is going to be freaked out about this, and Ruben just is not having it, so recovery happens. He wasn't that injured, luckily, Hayes, and he decides he's kind of leaving until he gets an offer from Peter Banning. This is the kind of faceless boardroom guy that I was talking about.
Yeah.
Peter Banning reveals himself as the fake whistleblower who took the documents to screw over McKenna, and his goal is to essentially use these documents to take down the team so that they can clear out Javier Bardem and he can take over charge. So he makes an offer to Hayes that Hayes will come with him if they lose. So Hayes will have a career. He'll have he'll get paid. Unfortunately, money's no object for Sonny Hayes.
No.
So at the season finale in Abu Dhabi, Pierce admits to his mom that Hayes never caused him to crash in Italy, and he promises to be more careful on the track. Hayes also shows up to race, and they have this great moment of talking Javier Bardem into letting Hayes race. And it's just, there's a really good line in there about how, Hayes was basically saying that if I was to die in the car, I would do it 1,000 times over.
Yeah.
Like if he was to die, that's the way he
It
wants
was
to.
when they were in the hospital and Ruben, sorry, I want to say his
Yeah,
real
I'm
name.
doing it so bad.
And Ruben is talking to him and basically kicking him off the team. He says some line of like, "I'm not gonna let you kill yourself, like in my car, like I'm not gonna let that blood be on my hands type thing." So that's kind of where that came from. Sorry to go back. I just want to add that.
No,
that's why
important.
that kind of convinced
Yeah,
him.
this is a very disjointed story.
This is probably one of the worst stories we've...
Bro, moviespoilers.com.
everywhere.
I love you so much. I'll give you shout-outs for the rest of my career. Please, get Jurassic World Rebirth out in time, man.
I'm sure they will.
I need it.
Well, they have lots of time.
They do. So yeah, basically, Ruben's like, all right, I'll give you one. This is it. This is the very last race. They need to win this race to keep Ruben's job, essentially. And the FIA luckily allowed McKenna to restore all of her upgrades for the final race. They got the good car. They got the good driver. They have everything they need.
Yep.
And during the race, the team makes insane strides forward. I think here, if we just want to kind of talk about the races in general, you know, of like how technical they were. Because in this race specifically, I mean, the big thing was just the chemistry between our two drivers, because now they're finally on the same side.
Yes.
You know, but there have been tire problems before, pit crew problems before. There's a pit crew problem that I wanted to bring up. I don't remember which race it was on, but it was one of the scenes that got me the most hyped up. They did this like POV shot from the car with the entire pit crew waiting for the car to come in. It was in slow-mo with some hype music. They needed a crazy pit, and they got it in 2.9 seconds, which the marker was 3. And it was just awesome. It was so badass. Definitely the best pit scene I've seen in any of the car movies besides Guido in Cars. Because remember, he has that little... That's
exactly what I was thinking when I was watching that scene. Yep.
He has the feud with Chick Hicks guys, and then and then all their mustaches fall off. That's much better, but this is a close second.
Yeah, insane.
It was legit. And then just in general, I think we were talking about with our friends of the podcast a little bit, but it was just how well they were able to incorporate these technical elements, like, you know, the breaking down the car and getting it back into the pit, or switching off tires, how long you can stay out with your tires, you know, feeling good. There was just, obviously the rain on the track and things that they talked through.
Yeah.
It was just, they never set up the exposition, really. They kind of did with the tires. They did a perfect job, like we already discussed, of just giving it to us in the moment and laying out these races that make you feel like you know what's going on.
Yeah.
When, like, if you tried to just take a, you know, the bird's eye view and try to explain it for us, we still wouldn't know what's happening. It's really remarkable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but this crash is basically they just make their way forward the entire race. Hayes is in the back, just kind of helping Pierce get to front as he's done before. And Hayes kind of crashes into George Russell, and it leaves Hayes and Pierce in second and third positions respectively. All they have to do is chase down Lewis Hamilton. So they're on Lewis Hamilton's tail. Dude, it's so beautiful to watch their chemistry, because they just bait one. They go to the right and bait Hamilton to play defense on one of the guys, and then the guy on the left will just shoot. Yeah, it's so beautiful. Sick. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. But basically, Lewis blocks Hayes instead of Pierce, and Pierce guns it forward. You think the match is over. All Pierce has to do is play defense, but Pierce and Hamilton crash. So now it's just Hayes on the track. He's in first. All he has to do is secure the win to ultimately save Javier Bardem's job, and everything goes quiet. All the sound is cut out, and all you can hear is this kind of like weak racing sounds in the background, and it calls back to this conversation with Hayes at the earlier in the movie, where his favorite moment in his life is sometimes when on the track everything goes quiet and you just feel like you are the best, essentially. And that's the moment he got right before he crosses the finish line to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and effectively save Apex from this you know, idiot board member.
Yeah. It is funny, the entire time this race is going on, the board member is up in like the VIP section with all like the other fancy board members, and everything like that's happening with him, he's like quietly like, no, and then he's like, it's a good like turning to the side. Just like, it was kind of stupid, but I did enjoy it, find it funny.
100%. It was great. I think there was just so much like, there were so many little aspects of racing that they just made so much better. You know, things like that with the boardroom, actually giving those a little bit of character and making us have a moment with them. And also with the crew, you know, just that team that worked on that car became so, we ended up knowing them so well. Just and a lot of them just had little throwaway lines, but there were certain things like, you know, what the decisions they made on the track, and also just like running around the track, you know, like this little tradition that Hayes has, the whole team hopping on it. It's like you feel the team chemistry coming together. It's just those aspects made the movie so much better.
And I think it was so amazing, because at the start you can tell everyone is just like looking at Hayes like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yep.
He's not doing anything he's told to do. Like, he's coming up with his own plans. He's doing his own fucking shit the entire time. And then it's finally in that last race, you see, like, everyone came together, and it's like, okay, he knows what the fuck he's doing. We're on his side. We're all just gonna, like, we know he's gonna go off the rails. We're just gonna be here.
It's true.
Figure it out.
It's a gradual progression, too, because at first he's just doing whatever he wants, and they're kind of adjusting, and then after a while, you know, they had their plan A, plan B of what they're gonna do to race this track, but then they look to Hayes, hey, what's your plan C? You know, it's just fantastic. Yeah, they've won the race, and Hayes isn't one to stand around and celebrate. Pierce is kind of celebrating with his buddies. Hayes just kind of goes back to his hotel room and is taking it all in for himself. He's exhausted, but, you know, he's liking it. He has a nice conversation with McKenna, and they basically say they're going to see each other again down the road somewhere, although Hayes isn't going to stop his nomad lifestyle. And we get one last conversation before Hayes drives off with Pierce, where they just kind of, I like how they both stick to their characters in the end, where Pierce kind of makes a joke about how, like, you're not better than me, or something along those lines.
Yes.
And they both laugh and kind of go their separate ways.
Yeah.
Hayes has now cleared the path for Pierce to, you know, become one of the best in the game, it seems. So Hayes drives off, and we get one last scene of him in his Volkswagen bus, except it's a Ford. I don't know what that thing is. Driving across a bunch of sand dunes, and he's going to race in this Baja race. And it's just he's continuing his lifestyle, you know. So we kind of get this very last shot of him driving, not in the Baja race, just in the car. And he looks down at his card. This was the card that he had to win the Grand Prix with. And actually, he looks down the card. They don't show us. He has one more conversation outside the car, and he's asked, which he has been multiple times in the movie, why are you doing this? And the movie ends. We don't get a response. And that is our movie.
It was so good. I do feel it's interesting, because with this type of movie, obviously, like, a lot of character development isn't needed.
Yeah.
Because it's just, these are our characters, these are what they're doing. But for, like, somehow, I feel like we kind of got, like, a window inside of, like, most of the main characters. Even with getting so little information. Like, Hayes is the character we get the most information about.
Yep.
And it's still just such, like, a small amount. I think it's so interesting that, thinking about it now, it's like, yeah, there was no character development, but I wasn't thinking about that in the movie, because it wasn't really that necessary.
I mean, I think the dialogue really painted the ways that characters were, and they were consistent in that way until it made sense for them to switch. I think that the dynamics are what they're able to tell character stories way easier, because we see what's happening on the track, right? And obviously, so that helps us with Pierce and Hayes' relationship. But also just, like, everything, when you're having to make decisions, you know, how people act in those times says so much about the character. That's a lot more than just, like, you know, a scene of them, like, expressing themselves in some physical way, like drawing or, you know, just trying to, like, deep dive into them. You can just do it by playing the dynamics. And, you have arcs for people still, and it ends up working out.
Yeah, but, like, we didn't need any, like, long conversations with, like, any of the main characters with other people to be able to, like, understand them, which I think is great. And it's exactly what you're saying, just by the dialogue and the dynamic of the characters with the other characters and how they act and how they talk and how they make decisions just really gives you such a strong idea of who these people are.
Totally. I think, like you said, too, they did just enough with Hayes to where they didn't, you know, it wasn't, it was enough to just build out his character. And honestly, I wonder if that was part of the decision to leave him as, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like to your own interpretation, subjective. To leave him as subjective as they did, to where it's just up to you to figure out what he is, honestly might have been part of that, where they wanted to go deeper into kids. We have to keep in mind there are 3 different storylines cut from this, right? So they might have wanted to go deeper into his character and explain the way that he is at points, you know, but they never ever did. Actually, I don't think they ever did for sure, but I think that could have been a reason as to why they didn't go into it, is because they wouldn't have had time to explore that character.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost better just setting the grounds for the character and letting you do the work afterwards or during. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just, like we were saying about both Hayes and Pierce, is they're both kind of asshole-ish characters, but they have their likable moments, and you kind of like these characters a lot, especially by the end. So I think it's so interesting just how it was all done, and how like, we never got really, like, a lot of explanation for so many of the things that are going on. Like, all of, like, Hayes's little, like, little things that he does, like, with the cards
Yep.
and whatever he's doing. We never got into them. So it's really just left up to whatever you think. And it could have been, like you said, probably cut out of the movie and they decided not to. But I think that's probably the best decision they could have made because I would have been fucking bored.
Yeah.
Like it was such an engaging movie because of all of the races. As we're getting information, we're getting this quick dialogue, this back and forth, and then we're just getting races. And I do feel like the movie felt very short to me just because it moved by so fast. And
It
it was
flew.
2.5 hours.
If you can be engaged in every race, that movie is going to fly.
Yeah.
The racing, I think, at points can get a little more boring, but since we're on like, I almost think that if you go further into Brad Pitt and explain the way that he is, we end up liking Hayes a little too much.
Yeah.
Right? To where, like, because you want us to be able to like both by the end.
Yes.
And if we really explain why Hayes is the way he is, maybe we explain why he acted how he did the whole movie.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're left like, okay, that little offhanded joke comment at the end could have felt disrespectful to us as an audience. Because it's like, no, dude, know your place. Hayes is the better racer here. But since we didn't go into it was so perfect. I want to ask you, what card do you think it was, or do you think it was not important that we didn't get shown, and what do you think his reason for racing was?
I think the card definitely, the best decision was for it not to be shown. Like, it should be that question at the end of what was the card. I don't want to think about it too much. I don't want to think it could have been this card, it could have been this card. This number has symbolic reason, this, he was throwing this card, whatever happened. I don't want to think, like, into that whatsoever.
So you think there's not a reason then? You think that represents how us as the audience not getting to see what that card is represents how Hayes feels, where he doesn't actually know what the reason is when he's asked. He has these moments, he knows he likes it, but he doesn't actually know.
Yeah. That's what I think. I think it was so purposeful that they didn't show the card. That it's really, I think you're spot on with that. That's what I think.
Yeah. Wow, that's really, really cool. I think if there was a reason for him racing, the only thing that we're given is that the moment where everything goes quiet. His just high points in life.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
It was.
I think it was very purposeful to have it up to our interpretation.
100%. It makes it. People will hate that. I can guarantee there will be people out there, reviews that I'll read, that they will really not like that.
And I fucking hate those people because they don't like good movies.
They don't like
whatsoever.
thinking. Yeah, dude, you don't like because that's the best is you could have two people who have somebody else could come in and say, I know exactly why Hayes does what he does and have reasons for it. Mm-hmm. And you can argue the other point and you're both completely right.
Yeah.
And that's how every movie I think should be in general. So when they do it on purpose, it's even better.
I think that's how every movie actually is. I think every movie is up for interpretation, but I love the movies that are actually written to be up for interpretation.
100%.
Because some of them it's like, nope, it's supposed to be this, it's this, but you can still interpret it any way you want.
Like one day I might do a character study on Sonny Hayes.
Yeah.
Because there are so many places to go, so many things to talk about, different aspects. Like it's just a launching point for conversation.
Yeah, and I think when you don't get a lot of information about a character, for me at least, like I'm putting in my own what I think about him on all of these different characters, or he reminds me of someone. So now I'm matching this character trait with him, even though it's not shown through the entire movie, which I think is really cool to do.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have your favorite character?
Yeah.
Could you pick one?
I have my favorite character. I'm gonna take him off the board. I'm going with Sonny Hayes.
Okay.
For me, my favorite character is Sonny Hayes, and I think for all the reasons that we just discussed, I think a character that you leave up to interpretation fully is sometimes the best characters possible. I think they had just enough for us to also grab onto to make him feel real and not just some weird shadowy figure that we don't know anything about. And just a performance by Brad Pitt too. He did a great job of playing. It's just like watching for the love of the game, pretty much. It's just playing an old timer who's coming in and at the end of his career and still wants it. But to see him kind of gradually form into the teacher essentially, and accept his role in that is huge, and it honestly pays off got him some karma at the end, got him a win.
Yeah, I do have issues with Brad Pitt's acting in a few scenes,
Really?
but I'll get into that later.
I think he was trying to do a thing.
It was just a few scenes. I'll talk about it. I have a spot where I want to talk about so I'll get into that. But my favorite character, I'm gonna go honorable mention for Joshua Pierce, because I thought he was just something about that character being so asshole-ish and still asshole-ish.
Yeah, that'll work.
It's a crazy word.
Throw it in Webster.
Sure. And still just being this like likable guy, and you can kind of relate to him, and you can kind of feel where he's coming from, because I think like any young person, or like anyone really knows, like when the older people come in and you're like, oh fuck these people.
100%.
They think they know what they're doing, I know what I'm doing, like that type of shit. But my favorite character, I'm gonna say, was Kate. What's her name? Kate?
I think it was Kate
McKenna.
Yep.
Yeah, Kate McKenna. I thought something about, I feel like was really I mean, she physically brought people together, but like was really holding everything down, was holding everything together, had some super like necessary conversations with Hayes, like just so much, having especially that like poker scene where she's bringing everyone together. Her dialogue was fucking fantastic. I just loved her character so much. I thought she was such a badass.
She was crucial. She's a crucial.
Yes.
She's like she pretty is like the main component of that whole corporate espionage thing, you know, where they come in and steal documents. She is the reason why we get a little view into Brad Pitt's character. She really does. She holds the team together just by being like, because if the only focus we have is that old dude on the team, and then whatever other random side characters are in there, I don't think we get nearly as much like close with the crew and caring about them. So that's a great shout.
Yeah, I thought she was so great. Least favorite character?
Least favorite character for me, you know, I want to go with the boardroom guy. You know, the board guy. Yeah. But I honestly think he did a good job playing a prick.
Yeah, he was exactly what he was supposed to be.
I thought he was just gonna kind of be annoying, like, you know, plot device type character. But he ended up actually having some decent conversations, and I don't know, he just ended up being pretty entertaining. So I'm gonna go instead with.
It's hard.
Wow. Do you have yours? I thought I was gonna find something as I was explaining why I wouldn't go that guy.
I always do like that. I start talking and hoping I'll get somewhere with it, or I'll think of something. It's just hard because, like we said, there's not a lot of character development. So our main characters that we have, we like all of them, and then there's all of the other ones where we really get not a lot from them, just like a few throwaway lines, but we still like all the crew. Like that's pretty much all we get.
Yeah, I thought of one, I guess. I'll go with Pierce's mom.
I was gonna say that. Fuck, that's what I thought of. I
thought she was gonna be a bigger, like, emotional character, you know? Like, I thought they were gonna, and it was probably cut, honestly, because it looked like they were setting it up to be a lot more mother-son story. Really, all she did was kind of watch from the background and have one conversation that helped Hayes' character, I guess. But I don't know. I wish she did more.
I mean, I do think that there was probably more with her, like you said, but like just having her there, I think kind of like humanized Pierce's character, like right off the bat.
True.
Like, oh, he has a good relationship with his mom. That's a good sign. Yeah. Like he can't be a complete asshole if he's like close to his mom type shit, you know? That's what I thought. That's really all I got from her though. Yeah. Was it kind of humanized him.
100%.
And made you think like, oh, he's not so bad. Fuck. I'll go with. This is really hard.
I can give you an easy one.
Please.
You want it?
Yeah.
It's the blonde side character.
Oh, I liked her.
Not Kate.
Yeah, I liked her.
You liked her?
Yeah.
She was on the cutting room floor. You could tell her whole story was chopped, man.
Yes, but what she had, I liked, and I think it was like her character was so important. With obviously, I think there was supposed to be more.
Yeah.
But just initially, how Pierce treats her versus how Hayes treats her versus how Pierce treats her in the end. Like, it all comes around.
Yeah,
Like, you immediately see him be an asshole to her, and then you see him be an asshole to her again, and then you see Hayes be nice to her, and then you see it, like, all come around.
That's true. She does have a kind of little arc. I mean, she doesn't do anything, but she gets...
No, but she's there.
Part of the story.
Yeah, she helps the other character. Whatever, I'll go with her. Fuck it. We'll go with that blonde side character.
Yeah, when you can tell
she
there's
doesn't
that
do
much...
a lot.
When you can tell there's that much that has been left out of her story, because you saw that hug at the end. There's obviously they wanted to do a relationship with her and Pierce from the second they ran into each other.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's a good one.
It's a good one that you picked.
I couldn't think of one, so I'm glad we found a little.
Do you have your favorite scene?
I
have mine.
Go for it.
Mine is gonna be the poker scene when they're all sitting down. There are some great. It's just great dialogue there. That's when the conversation happens with the phone, where it's like, "Get off of your phone!" Like Hayes is telling Pierce to get off his phone. Like it's really good. Just like all like the very like witty banter between all of them is just phenomenal.
Poker's such a good tool.
Yeah, it's specifically Pierce and Hayes, but when McKenna adds in like her little thing, it really rounds it out and makes that scene like so perfect and so fun to watch.
100%. That's a good one. Mine is gonna be I don't remember which race it was, but it's the first race where Hayes starts helping out Pierce by bringing the 4 safety car laps.
Yes.
That I was getting so excited. It felt like everyone in the theater was just watching him.
You could feel the energy for sure.
Oh yeah, watching him purposefully bring debris onto the track and put his life on the line a lot, honestly, to move Pierce forward. It was just, especially after watching so many racing movies and never seeing anything like that. I mean, especially if there's dual drivers, one of them has a character, the other one has no character. You know, it's not, they don't, so getting to see that, that was mine.
Yeah, that's a good one. Least favorite scene?
Least favorite scene, I think, do you have yours?
I'm thinking.
Okay, I have a couple in mind currently.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can do mine first because I did my favorite one first.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go with. I think I'm just gonna go. I'm sorry, this isn't good because I know it's supposed to be a specific scene, but like any of like the press conference scenes, pretty much just slid by and I did not give a fuck.
That
about
random like idiot press guy.
Yes, who's just like an asshole. And is like, you gambled away all of your money. How does that feel?
Yeah, it felt very forced.
Yeah.
That makes sense. You know, I'm honestly gonna pick. I think this constitutes as a scene. It's a montage, I guess.
Okay.
But it was the montage with Pierce starting to get good and Hayes starting to get good and Pierce's recovery. I think after like a recovery story is a massive staple in car movies where somebody gets hurt and then the recovery is explored. His recovery was just his hands slowly healing, in like 2 different shots of him, pretty much.
Yeah, he's just like hitting this like like it's this setup thing where you like hit all these different buttons in like different positions for like hand, for like reaction time, and he's just doing it. And he's like, it's like that's so fucking stupid.
And then they also, I think it was just a really big missed opportunity of those scenes because I wonder if this was also on the cutting room floor, but the fact that he just never had a single line or anything about fear to get back on the track was completely unrealistic to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. It's a good one.
To the next.
It is time for your segment.
It is?
Yep.
Okay, before we get into my segment, I wanted to introduce a new segment idea. Okay? This segment is called Best Line. I think this would be a pretty fun one because...
I think that's a good one, and I've thought about it before, but it's hard to remember lines.
But when they do stick out, it'll be really easy.
Absolutely.
You know? So if there was a best line for this movie, I think the one that I'm going to go with, if you have one or not, that's fine, but is... oh no. I'm forgetting the line.
Oh no.
No, I'm not forgetting it. I have it.
You have
It's they're arguing after like a first race or something, and the press is kind of in front of them, and it's a like an English word for asshole, I guess. What was it?
Where he calls him a swan.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite line of the whole movie is they're mid-conversation, they're getting mad at each other, and then Hayes is just like, wait, what's a swan? That's my favorite right there. Oh, I know what your favorite is.
What?
Is it the three things at the door when right after McKenna had slept with Hayes? And
Oh yes. Oh,
yeah, he's out on the balcony.
hilarious.
Oh, that's great. Okay, but then we'll cross over into Geo's Hidden Gems. This is the most expensive movie factoids. These are the most expensive. So production details. Jerry Bruckheimer. I talked about this with you a little bit before, but it took a year. I read 2 years, so I think this is wrong, but to convince both the FIA, the organizer of the F1 races, and 10 different teams to be able to film the actual F1 teams and drivers on the actual tracks during actual race weekends. There's a big concern that was brought to the forefront by Red Bull that was they would probably be depicted as the villain, given that Mercedes team built the car for the movie, and their Mercedes driver Hamilton was an added producer to the movie. So Bruckheimer convinced them with the script, promising that neither the FIA or any actual teams would be put in a bad light. This was obvious.
Yeah.
This was really obvious. I think that was something that could have made the movie so much better. In fact, I'm going to get into it, I think, with my gripes. Did we skip over favorite element, least favorite element?
Nope, that's later.
That's later. My bad. I should know. You got your fucking hosting down.
I got
dude.
it. Don't worry.
So this is like Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, and Argyle. This film will release in theaters nationwide before streaming on Apple TV Plus. This is the first Apple original film to be theatrically released by Warner Brothers. So it's a pretty big moment.
And it's doing good, so.
Here's something interesting because no matter how good it's doing, Forbes magazine estimated that the film has already made pre-production made $40 million alone from sponsorship and brand deals.
Oh, I definitely knew that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's crazy. We were talking about this with the friends of the podcast.
Yeah.
That it never feels like it's forced product placement because it's just racing.
Yeah. The entirety of racing is
that's how it
placement.
looks.
Yeah.
So it's like usually product placement like pulls me out, but it did not whatsoever because it's like, yeah, that fits.
There were a couple times where like I saw some sort of like fluid or whatever set up on a desk in a very specific way where
sure.
I'm like, homie, this is just a quick ad. But yeah, no, car movie kind of hides that for sure. So what did I say? Made $40 million off the sponsorship and brand deals.
Insane.
Well, minus $30 million of that because that's how much Brad Pitt made for this movie. $30 million.
God
Biggest
damn.
salary of his career.
Damn.
Brad Pitt has been a long avid fan of auto racing. He was originally set to star alongside Tom Cruise in Go Like Hell with Joseph Kosinski directing, but the project fell apart due to budget reasons and later became Ford vs. Ferrari, which Brad Pitt was not involved in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a great movie, Ford vs. Ferrari. Highly, highly recommend. You would love it.
Yeah.
You would love it, especially after watching this.
I'll put it on my list
Simone
for sure.
Ashley, we already talked about. Despite playing his mother in the film, Sarah Niles. Guess how many years older the mom is than Damien Idris? How many years older was the mom?
I feel like it's going to be low, so I'm going to go 10.
4 years older.
What?
I don't know how.
Wait,
dude.
how old is he? Does he just look
age.
really young?
He must just look really young because that she unless they did some crazy makeup with her to make her look older. That's insane. Insane.
He was born in 91, so yeah, he's like 36.
Nice. Yeah.
So yeah, he looks like he's like
just
in
young.
his 20s.
Yeah, he does. He's a young looking fella.
So I guess she's 40.
Yeah.
Which would make sense, I guess.
That would line up.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of crazy.
Insane.
Good job finding that out. The film reunites 5 major crew members from Top Gun Maverick: Joseph Kosinski, Jerry Bruckheimer, screenwriter Aaron Kruger, and cinematographer Claudia Martina. Oh, sorry, the 5th is composer Hans Zimmer.
Oh,
So it was kind of a
that's nice.
team coming back together for this movie.
I wonder if that's like so much fun for them.
Totally is. Well, like, so that's the crew I know the most about is like Chris Nolan and Emma Nolan. Yeah, Emma Nolan? Emily Nolan? I don't know why I'm blanking on her name. Emma Thompson. I feel like her last name's not Nolan for some reason, but it definitely is. But those two, like, she's a lead producer, helps with writing a lot, and then also Chris Nolan's brother John. They all like come together. So like I'm starting to build like the team that I like to see on those movies, you know, and getting to see them. I'd imagine like I know Emma and Chris already have a lot of fun. They seem like to work really close together. So it's literally like taking your team of people to go on to the next thing. It's
so fun.
Awesome. This is the second Formula One related film scored by Hans Zimmer, the first being Rush. That's my favorite Formula One movie. Directed by Ron Howard. He also did a NASCAR film, Days of Thunder, scored it. That's pretty nice. Filming took place during various Grand Prix weekends, like I was talking about. This is during 2023 and 2024 seasons. So at most of these, a garage was set up for the fictional Formula One team, and this garage was set up between the garages of Mercedes and Ferrari teams. So it was used to film various scenes in the pit, but it was literally like they set up like a fake garage in between real racing teams, which is really, really cool. Joseph Krasinski, there was also like a side wall in the pit setup where characters would direct where people would direct the fictional race from. Joseph Krasinski said they had over 5,000 hours of footage, and they had almost 2 years to edit because of the strikes. Apple created custom cameras to mount on race cars. They are operated by special remote controls. Wow. Each car had 15 camera mounts to hold up to 4 cameras at a time to keep the cars encumbered by the extra weight. The cameras were only 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters.
Oh my god.
Tiny little cameras, but a whole bunch of them. Practical effects emphasis. Director Joseph Krasinski prioritized practical effects over CGI for racing sequences. Like I said before, the FIA gave unprecedented access to race weekends for this crew, which took a lot of convincing. There's a big training regimen where Brad Pitt and Damson Idris underwent months of intensive driving training at Porsche Experience Center in LA, guided by F1 driver coaches. Pitt was nearly 60 during filming. He's still training to handle G-forces similar to those experienced by professional F1 drivers. Kind of crazy.
Damn.
Parts of the movie were filmed at McLaren and Apple campuses. The Ring building can be seen in the background of shots where Pierce exercises, apparently. The Apple Ring building, you know? That's kind of cool. There were a bunch of cameos and real-world connections. For real F1 drivers, there was several. Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz appear in the film themselves because it was filmed during the actual 2022-2024 Grand Prix weekend, so it was really easy to get them for cameos.
Right.
World champion driver Lewis Hamilton's beloved English bulldog Rascal. You remember seeing that bulldog?
Oh yeah.
He's everybody loves him in racing. He got a cameo.
Aww.
Gunnar Steiner, who's a part of a different team, I guess, probably somebody who got mad, can be seen swearing, which he's famous for among F1 fans. He does it silently in the movie, but the lip reading is really clear. And there was a private screening held for all the F1 drivers of the 2025 season before anyone else saw this.
That's so cool.
Yes.
That's so nice that they did that for them.
It's absolutely amazing. Sorry, I feel like we have a lot today, but Sonny Hayes arrives at the final race week on the last day, immediately replacing Apex's reserve driver without having participated in the qualifying session the day before. In reality, this would be a breach of Formula One sporting regulations.
Oh.
Joshua's dramatic crash mirrors 2 real-world Formula One racing crashes. The final race has some similarities to the 2021 F1 season finale that made Max Verstappen world champion. In one of the races, Pierce is able to become a race leader by getting a tow from Hayes, a maneuver where the second car benefits reduced drag. And F1 Grand Prix at Las Vegas National Strip, this actually happened, where Sergio Perez gave Max Verstappen such a tow. In both cases, the car towing had the benefit of better tires, but no chance of winning, so their action was purely to help their teammate. So cool. So that was a real thing too. These racing movies like to do this a lot, where they take real aspects, put them into fake movies, but just to give a nod to it. Like that, there was in Days of Thunder, a guy wins a race. It's actually the guy who plays Wesley in Princess Bride. He wins a race, and he's doing his victory lap.
Very famous actor.
Oh yeah, he's doing his victory lap. What's his name? What's the actor's name?
Keep going. I can't remember. We don't have time for this. We have like 15 minutes before we're gonna get kicked out of here, so we're gonna speed run.
That's what we said
the
last
rest of this,
time.
by the way.
That's what we said last time, dude. We're fine.
Well, remember, we barely had time left. Go!
We were 15 minutes over last time.
Were we?
Yeah, but you don't want to risk it. And I have to open my window door because it's getting hot in here. Throughout the racing scenes in the movie, yellow, red flag. Oh, sorry. I wanted to say real fast in Days of Thunder, Wes's character is doing a victory lap, and Cole, who's Tom Cruise's character, goes and hits him with his car on the victory lap. He's like, give me new tires. He goes out and hits the guy. And that actually happened. So it's shit like that. They just love it adding in. In the film, drivers of the Apex team have trouble finishing a race, crashing their cars running into each other. An old Formula One saying is to finish first, you have to finish. In the movie, I guess that's kind of not that cool. Never mind. Despite Formula One having its own theme music used during race weekends, this or any version of the theme doesn't appear in the film. And also, one last little detail, Brad Pitt and Damien Idris did all their own driving at speeds up to 180 miles per hour. Now, I didn't look into this further. All their own driving. I remember seeing something similar to that in Top Gun Maverick, where it said they did all their own flying. This was for all the shots where their face are shown in the cockpit.
Yeah.
This is not for all at all times. So all the exterior shots and a lot of the high speeds, although they did go up to 180, they're probably done by professional drivers. And that is it.
Right, all right, let's move
Back
on
out of the mines.
to our personal casting.
Yes.
I know who I'd cast you as.
Who am I?
You would be Joshua Pierce.
Hey, thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you. I appreciate
Probably just
that.
age-wise.
Yeah.
Like, when you get older, you could be Hayes for sure.
Totally.
If you wanted
right
to.
now, I'm Pierce. I like it.
Yeah.
I think you are Kate McKenna.
There's really only one good option,
Yeah.
so thank you.
You do a good Kate McKenna, though, because I think you've been a good mediator at times before. So
Yeah.
she's definitely got the mediating skills.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, negative quality and positive quality.
Negative quality for me, I'm gonna if you're alright with me going first.
Go ahead.
Is gonna be the villain. So I think one of the coolest things and a staple of a lot of the racing movies that I've watched before, you can think about it in Cars, Days of Thunder, Rush, everything has it, is a rivalry on the track. You know, you hype up a certain driver who's an asshole at certain points, and then you end up beating that driver at the end of the movie or whatever it is. Now, we had our kind of enemy on the track with our teammates at the beginning. But once they hopped on the same side, there was no other, besides the track itself and the car, there was no type of competition. Now, since we're not part of the racing world, we don't understand who Lewis Hamilton is to the capacity that other people do. That didn't feel like a really cool pass at the end.
No.
You know, so I just wish there was a bigger villain built up, and I do believe it was because of the deal made with the FIA. They couldn't villainize any of these teams, but I really wish they would have found a loophole with that and set up. Imagine you had Max Verstappen, who has been like painted as an asshole the whole movie, and then you take him over or something.
Yeah.
It'd be so great.
Yeah. For my negative quality, I'm going with Brad Pitt's acting. It wasn't always terrible, but there were a few scenes where it really took me out of the movie, which is going to bring my score down a lot more because I really did enjoy this movie. It was mostly any scenes where he's actually showing big emotions. Like the scenes where he's yelling at Pierce, where he's actually angry at Pierce, I don't feel the energy from him whatsoever. Like there's one specific where they're standing in a hallway and he's just yelling at him and I'm getting absolutely nothing from it. I'm getting no energy. He plays that like cool, laid back kind of assholey type guy really well, but anything outside of that realm, his acting was fucking terrible and it took me out of the movie so much and it really pissed me off.
Have you not liked him before?
This is a consistent problem I have with him. Like obviously Brad Pitt, amazing in Fight Club.
Yeah.
Because he can do that type of acting, like that type of kind of like hothead crazy, but also this like chill asshole, laid back type guy, which is sort of what he is in this in a very different way. He can play that very well. Things outside of that, I don't think he can play well.
So as long as he doesn't go like above a 7, you're fine with him.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See,
he can't play those high levels of like emotions.
I didn't notice that too much. There was one time like in the bathroom scene with Brad Pitt and Javier Bardem where I kind of felt like I was getting a little bit of weak acting from Brad Pitt, but I kind of corrected myself to be like, no, this is just a character he's trying to play because it felt like he wanted to reserve his passion a lot. Where he was like saying things that show that he has passion, but saying them in a way where it's not bringing the passion behind it.
Which I'm okay with that, and I understood that, but the parts where he was supposed to bring the passion and actually be angry, he didn't give any of that whatsoever, and it did really make me upset. Do you have your positive quality?
Yeah, for my positive quality, I'm going to go with cinematography as a whole. I think that I love when a movie saves a camera angle. There was one camera angle that they saved in this movie that made me just freaking geek out. I loved, obviously I knew the camera rig setup, so I was watching the whole movie, all the different angles they could get in the car. It was already awesome. and just the amount of effort they put into the cinematography on the track. But at the very end of the movie, when I almost say Cliff Booth, when Sonny Hayes goes into his zone, he's coming up on the finish and he's kind of going through some turns, and they go to this camera that's at the very front bottom of the car, so you can't actually see the car. It's just like you're flying on the track, and it was so beautiful, and there's no sound, and like the fact that I hadn't seen that angle the whole movie after so many races where we pretty much seen everything they had, that was so money. So that'll be mine.
Yeah, my positive, it's gonna be the dialogue.
Yes,
so that goes
yes.
in hand with the writing as well as the line delivery.
Yeah.
Like both of those, specifically when they're having these quick conversations with other people, where it's just phenomenal. It was probably my favorite thing about this movie. I thought it was so amazing and so good.
100%. I think, we talked about dialogue a lot at the story.
Yes,
honestly.
that's what I don't think I need to give it too much. I think I've said my piece.
But you're so right, man. They knocked it out of the park.
Do you have your critic reviews?
I do have my critics reviews. We'll start with the bad ones. Kate Walsh from the Tribune News Service says, with Kosinski at the wheel, F1 should be Pitt's Top Gun Maverick, but this land-bound racing film never takes flight despite all the on-screen horsepower. She didn't feel it. Kate didn't feel it.
Damn.
Too bad. I did, Kate.
I did.
Adam Naiman from The Ringer. Nobody's expecting a studio tentpole production that cost $300 million or whatever to be a subversive critique of late capitalism, but the movie is ultimately so differential toward the sport and its ruling class that it comes off as kowtowing. All right, could you look up what KOW towing means? KOW and then just regular spelled towing, no space in the middle, obviously.
Acts in an excessively subservient manner.
Okay. So yeah, I think that what he's basically saying then is they didn't go too much into the sport. They went too far into the front office.
Yeah.
I thought they balanced it perfectly.
Yeah, me too.
Especially for someone who's not nearly as knowledgeable of the world of the front office. They simplified the story enough, and I think it meant more about racing, but we still got big moments with Javier Bardem. So disagree, but that's fine. Kyle Smith, Wall Street Journal, these are the good reviews. Mr. Brockheimer's style has endured for a reason. It's entertaining. Doom and gloom may be fine for Oscar pictures that emerge tearfully in the fall, but summer is a great time for some vroom and zoom. Fresh score. I think Kyle Smith is saying a lot with not saying too much in this, where it's just like Jerry Bruckheimer films in general. If you look at all that he's produced, like, it's just the fucking vibes. He just gets you so excited about things. And that's what this movie gives off, is just this feeling of, it's the sports movies, the Top Guns, that, just the fucking, I'm so invested in just, like, winning and having these big moments, you know? It's almost like Spielberg-esque at points, where it's like, sometimes Spielberg goes too far into that, just creating magic for people rather than creating magic for the Oscar committee.
Right.
We also have Pete Howell for the good ones from the Toronto Star. F1 is mostly an enjoyable experience, especially when viewed on an IMAX screen. Practically mandatory with a film like this. We did not see it on IMAX. Forgot to mention that.
Fuck IMAX.
Fuck IMAX. It's a scam. Yes. With a running time exceeding 2.5 hours, though, your eyes and brain are most likely to feel the burn. He still gives it a 3 out of 4. I think, talking about the pacing of this movie, I thought it was paced flawlessly.
I agree.
I think the only point that it dragged out all for me was the setup to the last race. I wish we had just jumped into the last race, so I guess not completely flawless, but it was very close.
I would disagree with that. I think it was flawless, and I didn't mind the setup to the race. I think it flowed well for me.
It's good.
Personally.
But yeah, that's it for our reviews.
All right, ready for your reading?
Yes.
Do you have it in mind? In the next 4 minutes?
I do. I do have my rating in mind. So, after watching all these racing films that I have, I think my expectations were set really, really high for this film, about as high as they could have been. I saw the gambit on racing films. The worst of the worst, the best of the best. Turbo's the worst, Rush was the best for me. and it's just to be able to end that watch through with not just a period, but an explanation point on this movie was unbelievable. I think it was the score, which we didn't get into enough, not the soundtrack, but the score was excellent. Hans did his thing. I thought the performances were great, but more than anything, it brought me into the world of modern racing, probably more so than any of the movies I've watched. I think it does such a good job of making us attach to the characters and then telling the story through those characters, never overwhelming you and just giving you the perfect layout of fun and fast and emotion. And I don't know. I think for that reason, really the only bad that I got was a couple missing elements and the obvious things on the cutting room floor. So I'm going to put this one at a 4.4.
Wow.
A very high rating from me. I absolutely loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, for me, I was pretty much the opposite. My expectations were pretty low because the only racing movies I've seen are Cars and Turbo.
2 bangers.
So I wasn't necessarily too excited on like racing movies. It's just gonna be like, man, yeah, men race it, like kind of how some sports movies are like that.
Testosterone driven.
Yes, I was kind of concerned it was gonna be like that. Completely wasn't. I really loved it. I thought it was so good, just so well done. The writing, the score. I wish the soundtrack was a little bit better.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be great. It wasn't necessarily. And I do really wish that Brad Pitt's acting was better, but he's just kind of stayed at the same level of acting his entire life, so whatever. I can't expect too much from him at this point.
What's that movie that he plays Death in?
I don't know. Wait, I was about to say my brain.
Sorry. Sorry.
I'm getting in a flow. Jesus Christ.
I'm so sorry. I got tangented.
But anyway, now I feel like I need to say something else. I thought it was a really good movie. Few missing parts for me. So I'm going to put it at a 4.1.
4.1. Ooh, okay.
That's where I'm going with it.
What made you like go closer to the 4 territory than the 4.5?
It's the acting.
The acting.
It really took me out of it. It was really only 2 scenes, but it really detached me from the movie because I was so in it.
Yeah.
And it really fucked it up for me, to be honest. I would recommend you go see it in theaters.
Agreed.
If you can't see it in theaters, watch it when it comes out at home.
The surround sound for this movie was freaking amazing.
Absolutely.
The sound design was just unbelievable. I heard that they actually took a lot of the real sound from the tracks and just added overlays to it, so it was very natural too.
Yeah, I would say if you can see it in theaters, see it in fucking theaters.
Yes.
Absolutely. It is a movie theater movie for sure. Our next movie for next week, it actually comes out tomorrow, but we're seeing it next week. The 4th movie in, well, like really the 7th.
Yeah.
The 7th and 4th movie, starring Jonathan Bailey, Scarlett Johansson, Rupert Friend. Don't know who that is.
I recognize the name.
Directed by Gareth Edwards. We're seeing Jurassic World Rebirth.
Yes.
Baby.
Oh, get ready, man.
Get ready. Yeah. So, anything else to add?
I think I'm about good, man.
All right. So with that, I'm Mara.
And I'm Gio.
So join us next week after opening weekend because waiting to talk about movies, clearly, is not our thing.
Mics are hot. I did a coda for our last episode.
A what?
A coda, which is what we talked about, putting our little things in at the end.
Oh, that's what that's called?
Yeah, it's like, I think it's a radio show term, I'm pretty sure. Actually, maybe that's not what it's called. I could be wrong.
Never heard it before, but... Whose favorite color is sky blue pink?
My Junie B. Jones knowledge is just not...
Isn't that something, though? Don't you remember that?
I don't. Definitely an obscure children's, book character.
Yeah, could be like a
Amelia
Judy
Bedelia.
Bloom
Judy
character.
Bloom. Sounds kind of like Amelia Bedelia-y.
No.
No?
No. She doesn't say shit like that. She just takes everything literally.
Yeah. Draw the curtains.
Draw the drapes.
Draw the drapes.
I think about that every single time I close my curtain.